kama bado hajanisikiliza.
Ndio, kama ni kuvuruga mimi niko tayari.
Nataka kujua huu wako ni upumbavu tu ama nisikie kuzidi kichwa.
Huu mchezo utaisha lini?
Atake, asitake, I will take our daughter away from this menace.
Wewe ulimpenda baba ama ulikuwa unamtumia kama vile mzee?
Useless Nick should have finished you off. So it was you who planned that.
The person who pulled the trigger was you. And you made everybody believe that I was the one who killed Vicente.
He's your sister's friend, right? Eugenia. Why didn't you ever tell me that you had a sister?
You will do exactly what I tell you, or I swear you'll pay the consequences.
Why do you threaten them with never seeing their father again?
These are not threats, darling. If I can't have Alejandro, then I should at least get the girls back.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News. Well, we hope you're having a lovely Wednesday so far. My name is Jacky. Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. Well, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up, and to kick us off, we cross over to Nakuru County, where President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected to confer city status on Nakuru. Now, speaking while he addressed the nation on Tuesday, the head of state said Nakuru will be joining Kisumu. He said that Nakuru will be joining Kisumu, Mombasa and Nairobi. Remember, before classification of a city, urban areas must have infrastructural facilities like roads, street lighting, markets, fire station, waste disposal and disaster management capacity, among others, so as to be conferred into city status. Now, reporter Gladys Mungai is on the ground and has more details on this. Now, Gladys, kindly bring us to speed.
Good afternoon to you, Jacky, Wambiru. Like you rightly put it, we are coming to you live from Nakuru County, where President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected at Uhuru Gardens in Nakuru County to officially issue the charter and confer Nakuru County as a city. This being the fourth city after Eldoret, Kisumu and Mombasa. And this is a journey, like they say, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. This is a journey that started in 2018 with a proposal from the County Assembly of Nakuru County that saw a joint committee formulated that looked into the proposal and unanimously agreed with that proposal that Nakuru County should indeed be made a city. Later on, that particular report from the County Assembly of Nakuru was forwarded to the Senate, where the Senate discussed and deliberated on that particular proposal and later on endorsed that indeed Nakuru should be made the city. And after that, a report was submitted to the President for assent, and after review, today Nakuru County will get that status of being the fourth city in the Republic of Kenya. Just to note that this just happened in 1904. The Nakuru County was given the status of being a town in the colonial era, and we moved to 1952 where Nakuru was given the capacity of being a municipality, and a lot has been in play to ensure that Nakuru County actually meets the status of being conferred to being a city. We are talking about establishing of firefighting equipment, matters sewerage and matters transport, and ensuring that there is seamless delivery of services to the local man. Also to mention, Wambiru, is that Nakuru County annually is able to develop or raise 2.5 billion shillings in matters revenue, and thereby meets the requirements of being a city. To speak more on this particular issue, I'm joined by the CEC of Matters Housing and Planning in Nakuru County, that is Joseph Kuna, to tell us. Joseph, welcome to KBC. We are live on 1 p.m. news. Kindly tell our viewers, how has the journey been like to having Nakuru being conferred to the status of being a city?
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. Our journey began with the enactment of the 2010 Constitution, where the Urban Cities and Planning Act was enacted in 2011. Before that, the criteria of becoming a city was not very clear, but after the new Constitution was passed, you have to follow a certain criteria to become a city. And Nakuru and Eldoret were given that opportunity by the cabinet, but Nakuru is the first one under the new constitution to meet the criteria spelled out in the law to become a city. So today we have complied with all the requirements, and it is coming to the end today when the President of the Republic of Kenya is going to award the charter for a city status to the governor of Nakuru County. Part of the criteria was population, infrastructure, revenue generation, firefighting equipment, transport, things like that. So all that criteria has been met, and we hope that other cities can follow Nakuru's example so that they can also be elevated after meeting the correct criteria.
Lastly, the President from here is expected to move to areas of Bondeni, and I understand there's a lot of a market that is currently coming up. What is that about? What is the capacity?
There are many projects going on because of the city status. We have our Afraha Stadium is being upgraded at a cost of 600 million. We have the Bondeni Affordable Housing Project, 605 units. That project is worth 2 billion. An airport is being done in Nakuru, in Lanet, at a cost of 2 billion shillings. That should be ready by next August. The Nakuru-Nairobi highway is being upgraded to a dual carriage. So all this infrastructure comes as a result of being a city. And our sewerage system, our water systems are going to really be upgraded to meet the city status.
Wambiru, like you rightly heard from the CEC in charge of housing and matters planning, there's a lot that is currently underway. The President is expected to officially open this particular park, the Uhuru Gardens, and thereafter he will inspect affordable housing units in matters to do with Bondeni, as well as markets being coming up across Nakuru County. I'm handing you back to the studio. We'll be giving you more live feed of this event when the President makes his way to Uhuru Gardens. Back to you, Wambiru.
Well, thank you so much, Gladys, for that update. Well, that was our reporter, Gladys Mungai, who is in Nakuru County prior to the conferment of Nakuru municipality to city status by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Remember, we shall be keeping you updated as events as events unfold throughout the day. Well, we move on to Mombasa County, where the Ministry of ICT is pushing for the establishment of a self-regulatory body meant to regulate ethical and professional standards of public relations and communication offices in both the private and public sectors in the country. Broadcasting and Telecommunication PS says through the enactment of the Institute of Public Relations and Communication Management Bill, communication practitioners will be expected to meet communication needs of the public even as the country gears towards the August 2022 polls. Now our reporter Junaid Karisa joins us live from Mombasa, where the PS was officiating the annual PRSK Summit as they marked 50 years since its formation.
The Public Relations Society of Kenya is holding its annual summit here in Mombasa, and today the Principal Secretary, the State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunication, Esther Komait, was gracing this particular occasion. She's joining me right now to just unpack for us what exactly the practitioners who are seated right inside should expect in this year's summit. Karibu sana.
Asante sana June, and good afternoon, everyone. We are happy to be here today, first of all, to help celebrate the PRSK at their 50th anniversary summit. So it's a big organization that has been there for a long time. And these are the people who help us communicate and do PR, and therefore they are important for all of us as Kenyans in terms of getting the message out there to us. Now, I was privileged to obviously officiate at the launch of this function today. And from a policy perspective, what we have underscored is the fact that as a ministry, we are in the process of doing a policy and a bill to help regulate the sector. First of all, to create, to move it from just being a society to being an institute that is self-regulating, that is professional, that is recognized, that can then help the professionals in the sector to grow in their careers and to have a framework under which they are recognized.
One thing to commend is that most of the practitioners there are coming from the public sector. Of course, what are some of the strides that you can make so that you can professionalize the communication, particularly in government?
Yeah, thank you. You know what has happened is that we have different people with different skills. Some may not actually have the root of a PR because they didn't study the PR profession, and so we need to find a mechanism to upskill everybody, especially as we go into this digital age, into this where information is fast and you need to be able to manage. We are thinking about, for example, issues of reputation. How can these professionals help us in terms of ensuring that they in the places where they are communicating effectively and ensuring that they debunk, for example, some of this false information that comes through. The government obviously is the biggest generator of information. We are public servants, and therefore what we do needs to get to the public, and these are the people who help us in terms of getting our messages to the public. And so I'm really very proud of my team across all ministries, across state corporations, and they are here in a big number because we needed them to be here to see where the profession is, to help celebrate them as well, and to inspire them to work harder for all of us as Kenyans.
The country is headed towards the 2022 polls. What are some of the takeouts that these practitioners can note down as they operate in a world full of fake media, of course, and not a control over the digital media?
Okay. So you are right. Our desire is really that we get the information, the right information. We all need to recognize that we have a country, and what we do, what we say, how we say it can inflame passions, especially in a season of high passions like the political season that we are heading into. And as Kenyans, we love politics. So what we want our professions across the board, whether it be in government or even in the private sector, that they are factual, that they uphold ethics, that they ensure that we debunk any false narrative that may come through, and just keep the country together. Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm also joined by Colonel retired, the government spokesman, Cyrus Oguna, just to give us, are you satisfied with where the practitioners are right now currently, or do you think that there is more that we can do? Just move forward kindly.
What you may not be able to, Madam PS is my boss, so she said everything. Really, there's not much more I can add. She is my boss. Yes, thank you.
I'm also joined by, of course, the president of PRSK, Dr. Wilfred Marube, who, of course, as you celebrate 50 years, I'm sure this is a remarkable stride for you guys. What are some of the challenges, of course, for the past 50 years has this establishment had, and going forward, what are some of the opportunities that the practitioners can look forward to?
Thank you very much. I would say I'll not talk about challenges. Let me say that the 50 years have been 50 years of continuous improvement. The membership base has grown. Right now we have registered members close to 4,000, and we are right now at this particular summit we have at least 400 registered members, and others are following online. The other important thing that we've seen the growth of the industry is that we've seen PR being elevated from being a unit to being an entire directorate. Even having the director of public communication within government sector, within private sector, we see PR positions being within the C-suite, within where board decisions are being made. So that's a good opportunity. So I would say there's growth, but within growth there are challenges. Public relations needs more recognition within organizations. People need to appreciate that public relations is much more than spinning. It's much more than manipulation of facts. It's much more of reputation management. It's much more of stakeholder engagement. The other challenge, again, I would say, which is also an opportunity, is that PR actually now is becoming integrated. It's not just about public relations. We're now in the era of integrated communication management, so that you integrate PR, you integrate digital communication, you integrate internal communication, you integrate stakeholder engagement, you integrate everything else. And as an association, we see, as a professional body, we see ourselves in the next 1 or 2 years becoming much bigger. There's what we call the Institute of Public Relations and Communication Management Bill, which we expect to be passed any time now, which will help regularize, will help bring in professionalism to the field, and which basically will be able to strengthen the society. The other thing that we did today is that we launched the certification program, and this is a program whereby people who are members of PRSK, that is professionals, can be able to be certified. Certification means that you get a stamp of approval of authority. You have excellence in terms of execution of the PR role. So what we see is strengthening of the profession in Kenya, not just within public sector, but also within private sector. And today was a curtain raiser to our 50-year celebrations, which will take place in April next year, when we celebrate 50 years since we were set up in 1971. So I would say this is a great day, and is to encourage all those young aspiring professionals to join this society, to become much more ethical communicators. And now that we are getting into an electioneering period, is to ask especially communication experts to be more responsible, to be more ethical, to stop this misinformation, disinformation, to ensure that the country is much bigger than the organization. So we urge ourselves as professional bodies, as professionals in communication, to basically work on striving to ensure that we basically promote national cohesiveness. We are one Kenya, and let's use communication as a tool to indicate that we are one Kenya.
We wish you all the best in your endeavors. Those are some of the key dignitaries here at the PRSK annual summit, and of course they're saying this is the curtain raiser of them marking 50 years since their establishment. And of course we will be keeping you abreast with what is happening and filing your comprehensive report in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, I hand it back to you, Jacky Wambiru, in studio.
Well, thank you so much, Janae Karisa there joining us from Mombasa County, where the annual PRSK Summit is underway, marking 50 years since its formation. Well, we now move on to the political arena, where the Party of National Unity is set to open all its closed offices across the country ahead of next year's general elections. The party says the move is aimed at getting back more members as a strategy to fully revive the party.
The Party of National Unity PNU is set to reopen its closed branches across all the 47 counties ahead of the 2022 general elections. Party officials led by Laikipia Governor Ndiritu Muriithi say the move will see more members registered ahead of a major political comeback.
Hii yote ni katika shughuli ya kujiandaa kama chama kwa uchaguzi wa mwaka ujao. Kwa sababu mkumbuke kwamba hiki chama ndio chama mwanzilishi wake rais wa 3 wa Jamhuri ya Kenya Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki, ndio chama ya marehemu Professor George Saitoti, na chama ya wengi wetu.
However, the party officials say they will not be fielding a presidential candidate and that they were willing to work with other like-minded political parties.
Currently, we are negotiating with many parties. Among them is Jubilee, whom we have been working with. We are also working with the ODM. We are also negotiating.
Meanwhile, Kiambu Governor James Nyoro is accusing Kiambu Senator Kimani Wamatangi and Thika Member of Parliament Patrick Wainaina for what he termed as lack of leadership skills and malicious remarks he says are aimed at misleading the public.
Kama unaomba kura na kwa ukweli. Usiwe sasa unadanganya. Kwanza unadanganya watu ambao wanajua. Ile siasa ambayo imeanza kuingia katika Kiambu wakati huu ni ya kufanya sisi tuwe distracted. Sisi tuna maendeleo miezi ingine 8, lazima tubadilishe maisha ya watu wetu, na sisi hatutavurutwa kwa matope kwa muda.
Elsewhere in Uasin Gishu County, Area Governor Jackson Mandago is urging political leaders in the area to shun divisive politics.
Na sisi tutafanya siasa yetu kwa amani. Sawa sawa. Na mimi nimewatangazia hatutaki mtu ya kulete maneno ya kugawanya wananchi ama kutukana wengine wakikuwa kwa siasa. Wewe sikiza kila mtu aende zake. Hii masikio haiwezi jaa. Hata ukisikia aspirants wangapi, hakuna siku utasema nitatoa na nini, hii maneno imejaa kwa masikio ndio nipate nafasi ya kuingiza ingine.
Baba ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
Meanwhile, a section of leaders in Narok County have endorsed Lydia Ntimama to vie for the county women representative seat in the 2022 general election under ODM ticket. The leaders say they have faith she will deliver.
Tuna support 100% na tutaambia watu wa Narok County wote tushike Lydia Ntimama mkono.
Tumesema pia hapa ule mtu tunapatia kiti ya rais ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
In other news, residents of Bungoma, Kamukuyu village are in shock after the lifeless body of a middle-aged man was found dumped along the Misiku-Kamukuyu highway. The body of the man, who is yet to be identified, was transferred to Ebuye District Mortuary awaiting postmortem.
According to Elizabeth Situma, the area chief of the location, the unknown man was found lying in a pool of blood earlier this morning. It is suspected that the man was headed home from the shopping center as groceries were found beside his lifeless body.
Hatujui mwenye amekufa anatoka wapi, hana kitu yote kwa mfuko ya kujitambulisha kwamba anatoka mahali fulani. Na hatujajua vizuri aliuawa ama ilikuwaje.
Situma has called on residents to urgently identify the body of the deceased. Peter Warungu, a resident, however, blamed the incident on insecurity that has escalated since the lifting of the dawn to dusk curfew by the president.
Serikali ingechukua majukumu ya kuchunguza watu ambao wanatembea usiku.
Residents have been urged to be vigilant. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Stephanie Akiri.
And on matters of health, the number of pregnant mothers delivering in hospitals in Laikipia North has gone up in the last few years after the Laikipia Health Services started engaging traditional birth attendants. The program aims at incorporating the birth attendants in educating pregnant mothers on the need to attend antenatal clinics and deliver in the hospitals to avoid death during birth.
At Kimanjo in Laikipia North, 95 traditional birth attendants graduated after a week of training by doctors on the importance of having mothers attend hospitals during pregnancy in a bid to eliminate maternal death and transmission of HIV from mother to child. According to Laikipia First Lady Mariam Beneka, who initiated the Goat for Every Delivery, an initiative where a goat is awarded to traditional birth champions as a way of appreciating their efforts in helping to eradicate cases of infant deaths during delivery. Skilled delivery has gone up from 42 to 75%.
What is happening in Laikipia under my flagship is a program called the Hongera Mama Initiative and the Goat for Delivery, otherwise known as Supen and Derito, where we are encouraging our mothers to attend our facilities, make sure they get the four visits to the ANC, be registered with Linda Mama, and come and deliver at any of our 84 facilities.
Milka Kaparo has been assisting mothers deliver at home, but following the collaboration with the Ministry of Health, she has taken lead in making sure that all pregnant women are attending hospitals since many have lost their lives at her hand.
Kabla ya watu kuelewa na kujua umuhimu ya kusalia hospitali, tulikuwa tunapitia changamoto mingi. Kwa sababu hasa sisi tulikuwa tumepitia mambo ya ukeketaji. Sasa na hiyo ikawa changamoto zaidi, kwa sababu ukienda kwa mama mwenye anazaa, unaona hata mtoto ni kumlazimisha kabisa ndiye aweze kujifungua, na hata hasa mama naye atakuwa mgonjwa kwa muda, kwa sababu daktari hayuko pale amshone. Kwa hivyo atachukua muda akiwa kitandani, kwa sababu atakuwa mgonjwa, atakuwa hata mwili kurudi itakuwa ngumu.
The efficiency of the program has also seen a rise in the number of children getting necessary immunization. The graduated TBC took home a goat each as a sign that more is expected from them in transforming the society through adopting the best practices in prenatal, birth and antenatal childcare. For Lunchtime News, this is Ashley Mensah.
Still on health matters, as the world marks HIV/AIDS Day today, a campaign dubbed Undetectable Equals Untransmittable has been established in Nyanza counties aimed at giving hope in managing the disease, the day that was first marked in 1988. The theme of the World's AIDS Day 2021 is End Inequalities and AIDS.
Since 2016, World Health Organization has recommended that all people living with HIV be provided with lifelong ART. However, a new study has shown that adherence to ARV drugs is essential in epidemic control. The study, dubbed U, is a campaign born on solid research to encourage and empower people living with HIV to start and stay on treatment, to leave behind the shame, stigma, and fear of sexual transmission that many people still face. According to Daniel Onea, a medical officer in Migori County in charge of HIV and AIDS control, the new approach has helped in reducing the county's prevalence rate from 14.7% in 2018 to 11.8%, as indicated by a recent report released by National AIDS and STIs Control Program.
Currently, from the Kenya HIV estimates, which was just released last week by NASCOP, the prevalence has really reduced from 13.3% to 11.8%. So to me, I think we really made a lot of changes in terms of reduction.
Dr. Mumani, a technical advisor of the program, said that the campaign was launched in the country in September and rolled out in all the counties to identify champions who've achieved the viral suppression target.
Currently, we are working with all the counties, one, to identify champions, and champions are people living with HIV who are virally suppressed. We'll be able to talk about U is equals to U. And at the same time also cascade the materials, the messages to reach the ground to ensure that the U is equals to U concept is really understood and everyone knows about it.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecution has created a Child Justice Unit within the Children's Division to enhance handling criminal cases involving children across the country. The guide, according to Nurdin Haji, is as a result of the realization that cases involving children were generally complex and sensitive, and it was necessary to minimize the risk of discrimination and undue stress for children in the criminal justice system.
Children have limited knowledge of their rights and lack the means and financial resources to acquire legal representation. These children include vulnerable children, those from minority groups, children with disabilities, and those in detention centers are especially at risk of having their rights violated. It is therefore our duty as custodians of justice to ensure that their rights are safeguarded after every stage of the criminal justice process. As such, the Prosecutor's Guide to Children in the Criminal Justice System, which was developed with the support of the European Union and UNODC, sets out what is expected of all prosecutors when dealing with children in conflict with the law and children who come into contact with the law.
The rights of the child is a fundamental human right, and the EU stands strong in its protection. That's why it is so important to make the Kenyan criminal justice system adjust to children and juveniles in the system.
Deaf teenage girls studying at Pwani Secondary School for the Deaf, a mixed special national school, says they are facing a number of challenges in their studies. Some of the girls say most parents and community members do not understand how to communicate with them, a situation that is affecting their studies.
The school's deputy principal, Catherine Wanza, stressed that communication barrier from the parents, community, politicians who do not understand the plight of the deaf was a major challenge. She said teachers go through many challenges as the girls who do not have crucial facilities like masks, and majority of them always go for her office for help, and it has really drained her finances to an extent that she's unable to support them anymore.
The parents, I tell them to provide, but you find most of our parents are poor. Others, they believe that special schools have sponsors. We have sponsors, and actually we do not have sponsors. That is their thinking capacity. So unapata mzazi anakuja ana drop mwanafunzi kule kwa barabara, mtoto anaambiwa shule ndio hile, aende kwa shule. Kwa hivyo wewe mwalimu utajua mwenyewe, utamprovidea kila kitu.
She said a program to supply the girls with sanitary towels should be put in place, hailing well wishers who have been of great assistance.
They're using big numbers. Like I had four sacks of 48 pieces, and so far now zimeisha within a month. Kwa hivyo sasa naomba akiniletewe. Another thing, boy child. Mumesahau the boy child. How have you forgotten the boy child? This is a mixed school.
Now, in other news, Narok Governor Samuel Ole Tunai is urging communities living in the area to harmoniously coexist. Tunai said politics should not cause disharmony, and divergence of opinion should be the basis of conflict. The governor, who was issuing checks to various groups in the county, said more will be achieved in a peaceful environment.
The governor is warning those trying to create division in the country that they are not welcomed. He said it was immoral for politicians to try and create hatred among people who have lived together for generations.
Tunaweka jamii zote kwa sababu sisi wote Mungu ametuweka katika kaunti hii, na inabidi sisi wote tuishi pamoja vile Mungu ametuweka, na hiyo ndio inatakikana kama kiongozi. Hata wewe sio kiongozi kama wewe ni kiongozi wa kabila ama wewe ni kiongozi wa clan.
He said politics should be about inclusivity, as everyone has a right to enjoy civil liberties. Tunai was speaking at Tumoyot Primary Ground while handing over checks for various projects in the area, where he urged motorists to be cautious more so in the festive season.
We want to celebrate Christmas, we want to celebrate New Year without losing any of our people.
But that report brings us to a fast break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. We still have more news coming up.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email newsroom@kbc.co.ke, call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hii ya Romans chapter 8 verse 39, bonyeza star 811 star 965 hash.
No power in the sky above or in the earth below, indeed, nothing in all creation will ever be able to separate us from the love of God that is revealed in Jesus Christ our Lord. Romans chapter 8 verse 39.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hii ya Romans chapter 8 verse 39, bonyeza star 811 star 965 hash.
This festive, choose joyful time.
Get this done.
Anytime. Choose fist pumping.